Hey, Mr. Seder. I have just a quick kind of comment I want to make. I have previously been subscribed to your show, but since my politics continue to go further left, I don't have the patience to be a regular listener, but I occasionally do check in for interviews with the likes of Mr. Roseman, who you just had, and the eviction video with Mr. Dayan. That was really informative.
Great.
I have also been a subscriber to the Jimmy Dore show. I hope you don't bleep that out or edit that out.
I will edit out.
I can't hear him, by the way.
You can't hear him?
It's a little low.
Oh, all right. We start over again. You used to listen to the show on a regular basis, but you've moved to the left, but occasionally you check in for some of the interviews.
Right. And I also was a subscriber to Jimmy Dore show. I stopped due to his limited analysis. I'll only check in for certain guests like Chris Hedges, who wrote American Fascists, The Christian Right and the War on America, which is a must read. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump eventually opens up his own mega church. But that aside, I'm still a subscriber to Left Reckoning and love their appearance on This Is Revolution podcast. That was great. Now, I'm not really interested in like wealthy old white man drama that you and Jimmy have, but I am interested in the influence you two influence that you two have. Taking into this consideration, I find it completely repulsive that Dore will sit down with Tucker and won't call him out on his white supremacy. But I'm also uncomfortable with your financial relationship with corporate media that inherently promotes the status quo, which is founded on.
Let me ask you this: what do you think my relationship is with corporate media? Just out of curiosity.
Well, like I said, I do enjoy some of your segments.
No, I'm not. I'm not putting you on the defensive. I'm just honestly curious as to what you think that is.
Well, the fact that you're on Peacock, I mean, they're not going to put somebody who's talking radically or challenging the status quo to any legitimate degree on Peacock. I think you're informative. I value what you put out, but it's not.
I will say this. I mean, I think. I will say this. The argument that they have, that you have, is that they were aware of what my content was before they signed this deal, and B, that they actually pay attention to the content now. And I would suggest that there's some truth. They certainly, I think, felt like they could trust me to go on there. But I will say this. It is an argument that is sort of consistent with the one we just made about Nina Turner, that I think that they probably weren't quite aware of what kind of stuff that we put on this show, and that the fact that my presentation is such that it appears that I'm not doing stuff like that. But we have shown on Peacock, I've had guests who have said we should be engaged in sabotaging property for the sake of climate change. We have put interviews with the executive director of the union that is trying to unionize that company. We have every interview that you've ever tuned in for has played on that network, and they do not have, sort of bound by some confidentiality, but I don't know that I am with this aspect of it. They do not have any editorial control of the show. Now, there is an argument you could say, like, Seder's so tame as it is, they don't need editorial control because they're not afraid that he's going to do something that they don't want. But I mean,
but I'm not sure how you could know that, though, caller, if you aren't really tuning in regularly anymore. I mean, I think that's a bit of a you're taking you're taking the relationship between us and Peacock and then extrapolating from there without taking the content on its face and making a determination from that. So, I mean, I don't think.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was a regular listener, mainly during the Brooks era. Once he launched his own show, that's kind of when I just stopped listening to this show. I'm very interested in international politics, revolutionary politics. Like I said, I'm just going further left. I check in for the minutia, which I appreciate. I'm thankful that you do make the space for more radical activists, but I don't think it'd be a character assassination to say that that you are a bit more moderate in your approach, and I think you just hinted at it.
I think that's fair
with your aesthetics.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I was saying. I wasn't.
No, okay. I didn't mean that as an attack as much as I was just sort of curious as to what the perspective, what that relationship meant to you. But I hear you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, all right. This is where the criticism comes in.
What?
So this is where the criticism comes in.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Jimmy Dore said half of the anti-Black, anti-Indigenous, transphobic things that Ian Kaczynski, a.k.a. Vaush, has said, you'd be taking a headshot daily. Yet the online left, which includes like the Serve, Crystal and Kyle, and yourself, keep giving him, Vaush, who's essentially a silver spoon white guy, a pass every single time. The first time he was on the Tim Pool show, he pitched that reparations shouldn't be based on race, but class. And of course, Tim ate it up. Reparations should be for American descendants of slaves, no matter if they manage to escape poverty. Reparations needs to happen immediately and is a national issue. But time and time again, Vaush has, what the online left calls, let the mask slip. From the times that he uses the N-word to claiming that any trans person that disagrees with him has a mental illness, to more recent things like claiming that we can't get out of the Middle East without an exit strategy, which has been, the slogan for the industrial.
Let me address this for a second. I disagree with the idea that we need to tie reparations for descendants of slaves to class. I mean, we had Sandy Darity on, I don't know when it was.
Yeah, exactly.
A week or two.
No, yeah.
But you're also misunderstanding the nature of, and my understanding is that, that Vaush did do some edgelordy stuff, and I'm not, frankly, too up to speed on it. But I will tell you this. I used the N-word on Air America, I don't know what it was, 15 years ago, to make a point. I wouldn't do it today because I have a different, sort of, and it wasn't, I want to be clear on how I was using it then. I was using it to represent what someone had said at that time.
Exactly.
And so I'm not defending anybody's use of that word, and I wouldn't use it today, basically because, and I have to say that it's not a slam dunk for me. I think that like words must be taken in their context, but I also do appreciate the fact that it has certain connotations, particularly in today's day and age, that I wouldn't use it. But my arguments, but wait. I don't want to get sidetracked by this. My argument, the old white man arguments, the rich guy arguments between Jimmy and I are not on specific issue sets. And I want to make this clear. Like I don't, there's things I disagree with a lot of people that I don't go after them about. The reason why I have a problem with Jimmy is I believe fundamentally, it's not a question of like he's got a bad take on this or a bad take on that. I don't even care. It is because his project, fundamentally and broadly speaking, is disempowering to the broad left. That's why. And that he's teaching people to be stupid. That's like his project. I'm not saying there's one issue or not two issues. Like we may agree on virtually every issue.
I don't think that's the case, but that's the point is the overarching theme of what that project is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not taking apart specific takes. Like I've never seen a second of Vaush's show. I know him from Twitter. Like, I mean, so I'm not going to be able to remark on his take specifically, but I'm aware that his project is not that of Jimmy Dore's.
And broadly speaking, I mean, I will mock right wingers, their takes on stuff, because one of the functions of the show is to literally just mock the right. And Jimmy Dore was the first person I think that I ever even contemplated beginning to mock on the left when it became clear to me that the guy was basically literally teaching his audience how to be stupid about politics. So it's like, like there may be takes that Vaush has, or that, that Kyle Kalinske has, or that,
Packman.
I don't, who? That Packman has, or others, I don't know.
TYT, whatever.
TYT, or the Rational National, or, I don't want to leave anybody out here. I mean, that takes I disagree with. I don't know, but that's not, I'm not, people can make that assessment on their own. What I'm trying to do, the reason why I get into these old man fights with Jimmy Dore is because I think
wealthy white old man.
Well, these wealthy white man old man fights is because I think he fundamentally undercuts the policies that he purports to espouse, and he undercuts the left in this country. In addition, I think to now he's even more reprehensible in that I think he's empowering white nationalism, frankly, and so. When people cross that threshold, that's where I pay attention to it. But I'm not policing every person on the left.
No.
And people have disagreements about Vowsh, but that's up to them. That's good.
No, but here's the issue is that I have the same approach to Vowsh that you have for Jimmy Dore in regards to that. Due to his context, which I used to follow, I subscribe to anybody who's a leftist, and then I watch their videos throughout time and determine whether or not I'll continue to watch their product, right? Let me just finish. I didn't interrupt. Let me just finish, please. So I feel that Vaush's context is inherently anti-left in the sense that he does this whole thing that, unfortunately, Ms. Vigeland has done the same thing. We're trying to associate this mythical red-brown alliance, right? And the issue that I have with that is the Reds were the reason why we're not all Browns, right? Like, what's going on here? There is no alliance there, right? If you're further to the left and you're a communist anarchist, you're not going to associate with fascists, right? So that is my main issue with Vaush, is that I feel that, and I've seen his work enough to determine that the way that he goes about his politics is anybody to the left of him is immediately labeled a Nazi, right? And to me, I will make the same argument that you're making towards Dore that I do towards Vaush.
Well, then
also, I didn't even say that. No, but I mean, characterize my position. I said that that's something Dore is trying to promote and create. I don't think that's a viable thing that actually can exist, a red-brown alliance. That's my position.
Well, I don't think it's a thing that is, though.
Listen, we can debate that, but here's what my suggestion would be if you have that issue with Vaush, is on your show, you should make that case.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not. Oh, come on. Because I've got to be honest with you. Listen, I'm watching people. Listen. I'm watching people who identify. Now, you could argue that it's impossible for there to be a left-brown alliance, and that may be the case. But self-identified lefties who go on, on Twitter, on social media, they are making common cause with fascistic people. There is just simply no doubt about that. Now, you may say, well, it's definitionally impossible, to be the case because no one who is genuinely a lefty would do that. Fine. But there are people who self-identify that way who are making common cause with those people. Now, that is the nature of that narrow disagreement. And that is why I'm not going to take up your banner in that instance against anybody who makes that claim. Now, there may be some nuance to that argument that I think is wrong, which I just said, self-identified. But there are people who are doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry. There are people who are doing it. And so, it's self-identified.
Exactly?
But the argument you're making is just I don't know what to tell you. And that's your agenda. People are telling me what I should be doing on the show. I'm quite explicit with what the project is here. I'm sorry that it doesn't conform to the exact show that you want to hear. But I would encourage you. I would encourage you. Like, you know, I would encourage you to if that's the most important hill that you think is out there, that when Vaush says red brown, he should really be saying self-identified red brown.
Well, no, the issue is fundamentally that I think Vaush is a white nationalist, and he's proven to be that with liberal linguistics, right?
Well, that's I mean, all right. I don't pay that much attention, but send me clips.
White men are not held to the same accountability as other people.
Send me clips.
Right? They're constantly giving.
Hey, dude. Hey, dude.
I would encourage you and your audience to search on YouTube Scorpio.
No, don't.
Vaush, and yes.
We're not this online, man. We don't know what you're talking about.
Scorpio Vaush.
No.
There it is. I gotta go.
Scorpio.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, all
right. I gave you 16 minutes. You want people to search Scorpio Vaush? There it is.
Yeah, I mean,
search Scorpio Vaush. I mean, honestly, like, this is so sniggly. And here's a guy who's like, I don't even listen to the show anymore, but I want to tell you what you should be doing.
I have an opinion, though.
Yeah,
yes.
please reproduce my opinion.
It's fine for people not to listen to the show, but I mean, honestly, give me a break.
Please reproduce my opinion about a show that you guys don't watch. Like, we don't have time. We make 5 shows a week. We're not also going on to consume YouTube content.
No, we're also not combing through Vaush's old history because
send me, you know, majority reporters. You want to send us content that you think that we should be doing, send away.
Here, I'll just say this to Vaush. Don't use Red Brown Alliance anymore. Stop labeling these people communists. You're going to piss off communists. They're not Reds. And use a different way to describe that would be my advice.
Why didn't you do that before we took that 15-minute call at the end of the show? We got to wrap it up now because I got to go. I apologize, everyone. That was a mistake on my part. I mean, I honestly got to go. I got 10 minutes.
We've got to do some content for Peacock.
No, yeah, exactly. I get exactly.
Seriously.
Cower the Crowder, Vaush is a white nationalist. He regularly shits on Nazis, which because of idiots like this caller, Vaush has to explain it's satire. The dude is a dud. Ultimately, you got to go say F yourself. Vaush uses a lot of satire, which the caller doesn't understand. Thing the caller doesn't realize about Vaush is this: notoriety it gives him is what he's enabled his skyrocketing in views. Misha together. That last caller lied about Vaush's position, says Prairie Fire Kowalski. Vaush is hated by the anti-pragmatic left. Vaush is more entertaining, focused like Left Reckoning, and MR is more informative, focused. Vaush literally holds MR in high regard as the best online news source. Caller also lied about the N-word thing. Bad look, but in context, not a big deal. And transposition is just wrong. Don't want to be a Vaush stan, but his stuff is entertaining and bringing people left, especially younger people. Most of all the critiques of Vaush, caller stated, have been retracted by Vaush. Says Teacher Jay.
He also was wrong about my position on Red Brown Alliance, which I don't think he was. He
wasn't talking about yours. He was talking.
But
about
no, he
Vaush's.
said me. Yeah. It was me mocking Jimmy Dore's position on that and his project, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
he's seeing the tweet that Jimmy put up on his show about me and on the Twitter report, right? So.
Congressional baseball fan. Hello, Mr. Seder. I'm calling in to complain about all the other MR fans who are not as great as fans of me. And here's the 12 rules of life as to why. Eppo says Vaush is not satire. Molsanti says I have a red-brown alliance going on. It's called constipation. All right, I'm going to read 10 more of these IMs, and then we're going to get out of here. I apologize, folks. We're working on trying to get a little more flexibility, keep the show going a little bit longer these days, but we'll work on that. Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.